process of doing the final work on this piece. It is a small bench, a new leg I designed. It's just a big butterfly. This kind of reminds me of a torii gate, this little thing here. You know, a torii gate with a sacred space and all that. So I had to cut these legs off twice and turn them. This is 6 legs. So each time I got better at it, actually. I had a lot of legs laying around from tall stuff that I cut the legs off some stuff because I didn't like the design. And it was really easy to just whip up some of these. So I still have a lot of cleanup to do with some resin. But this turned out really nice. I kind of like it. You can see what that little bench is going to be like, 18 inches here. It's got a little space here. And this has all not been touched. This has got the oxidation layer on it. And I don't really care what's going on there. Everything else is pristine. And I'm going to leave this open too, this little guy here. These go in a little curve, and they spread it open so that it kind of stabilizes this during the gluing process. It's real important to line them up straight, because my early work, I just kind of hammered them in there, and then after I got done and got to the sanding phase, I realized, yeah, I probably should have lined those up. And so, you know, it's a learning curve to do any of these pieces. And that is kind of the fun of it, is the unpredictability of how it's going to be a journey to get to the final thing. This is a part of an orchard tree. This is black walnut, and this is up here is English walnut. You can see a graft line right across there. And when these are little bitty saplings, this black walnut tree was probably around this size, maybe a year, 2, 3 years old. And then they took a cutting from a similar size limb, and they put one in a V configuration and one in a point. And they touched the 2 outside edges together. Those are the cambium layers. As long as they get them touching on in one spot, this thing will grow. But the idea here is to make them both the same size so that you get 2 touching on your first try. And then if this thing grows and this doesn't live, they'll try again. So now that the tree is this big, now you use one on the outside and one on this side, one on that side. You make a little split and you hammer them in with appropriate hormones. I don't know how to do it, but I've watched the video a few times, and I've been around enough orchards and tried a few things myself. This is real weak wood. This is the first year. This is a chainsaw cut where somebody hit it with a chainsaw. They plunge cut it. I didn't feel like filling it. I thought, it's a piece of art. Just kind of wabi-sabi, meaning its age has stories to tell. And we all kind of move in the direction of decay as we age. And so that's kind of the wabi-sabi theme. This is another one of those little benches that I'm working on. I just got to gluing in the butterfly here. And if you want to take a look, you can see it's got a kind of a straight portion here, and then it flares from wherever the thickness of the board stops. Now I just have to lay a ruler on here and get this flattened out enough so that it sits flat. That's not too tough, really. That's a belt sander job. It should be pretty easy. See, that sits nice and solid. So what do we want? So I think 30 inches, maybe 10 by 30. We can always make it smaller. And then 2 right there, just like that, just like that.
Are you just kind of eyeballing it based on experience?
Mm-hmm, I am. I want it to be about a couple inches short of this end. And I don't want it to touch on here, and so that means it's going to be somewhere in here, and so that puts it at 30 inches when I had the tape up there. So let's go see if we can find a piece suitable. That's long enough, thick enough. Let's see what the other side looks like. Yeah, that'll work. That's our board. Now we get some straight tools here. Something shorter than that thing. All right, I like to work on the gray side. This is the side that was up to the sun because it holds my marks a little better. My dark black pen, I think the other side's brown. Nah, it's pretty gray too. This has been around for a while. Wow, I wonder if it's even thick enough. So, it has to do some qualifications yet, so it still has to pan out to be flat enough and thick enough.
What thickness are you going for?
Whatever that is over there, it's about 1 3/4. So right now, it's 2 1/2. You would think that'd be easy to get, but not so, not so.
So you've got about 3/4 of an inch to play with?
Mm-hmm. You can see right here, I'm gonna lose a 1/2 inch just on this side, just to get this tightened up in there. And this, you know, it's not gonna be that wide, so these widths are erroneous. So what I'm going to do is figure out where 30 inches best strikes this board. I want 10 inches on this end. I don't want to get in where all these splits are. This looks like the best chance I've got to get a one. Got to make a lot of marks because it's got chainsaw marks on it, and they're really not easy to see. And so going across the chainsaw marks, they're pretty easy to see, so I don't really have to do it there. But with the chainsaw marks, it's really tough. You almost need a road sign to figure out where in the heck you gotta go. Okay, this is 2 inches, and that says 10, so I need to go to 8 inches right there. There it is, right there. So there's my board right there. It's right here. All this is, I'm going to give it away to some of my subscribers. I think it makes you breathe deeper because you have to suck through that thing. Okay, reason I'm using a little sandboard is because some of the places my sander just won't reach. Of course, I have smaller sanders, but it takes longer to get that smaller sander out than it does to just use the board. So I will just spray glue onto anything. Just give it a contact cement coat on both pieces, and doesn't matter how straight it is, just something to get behind something. It's just a throwaway stick.